Let me ask you this. Why some people manage to achieve all their dreams and live the life they have always wanted, while others, well, they just seem stuck? Why some people are disciplined and make progress towards their goals, while others mostly procrastinate? Well, the answer is one simple word: habits. Think about it. A person who is constantly working on himself, hitting the gym daily, reading 10 pages every day, and there is another person who is playing video games and just scrolling through social media most of the time. We all know who will be successful and happy at the end. But today we'll talk about how to become that first type of person with as much less friction as possible. Hi everyone, this is Sandip this side, and in today's episode we'll discuss the secrets within the book Atomic Habits by James Clear and see how tiny changes can literally change your life in a positive way. I'll share how I implemented it in my life and how you can do it too. So without further ado, let's get into it. It is so easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. For example, if you improve yourself 1% every day, by the end of the year, you would be 37 times better. Whereas, if you get 1% worse each day for 1 year, you will decline near to zero. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Now the question arises, how to achieve that 1% betterment every day? It must be easier said than done. Well, you might think that, but it's actually not. How can we do this? By focusing on the system instead of goals. This is a golden phrase, focus on the system rather than goals. If you think carefully, winners and losers both have the same goal, but what really differentiates them is their system. In other words, habits, or what the author calls it, atomic habits. So now let's discuss how to build these habits. Before jumping into the solution, first we have to understand how habits work. Habit can be divided into 4 parts: cue, craving, response, and reward. For example, your phone buzzes with a new text message. You want to see the contents of the message. You grab your phone and you read the text. You satisfy your craving to read the text by reading the message, right? Here the notification sound is your cue. Your want to know what's there in the text is craving. Grabbing your phone is a response to your craving, and you satisfy the craving by reading the text. That's your reward. So grabbing your phone associates with your phone buzzing. Every habit works like this. So if we can analyze and master how to control these factors, it would be easy to create a new habit or break a bad one in that matter. Now, how to do it? According to the author, there are 4 laws to it. Let's discuss it one by one. First law says, make the cue obvious. In other words, the cue should be straightforward and simple. In the example of grabbing the phone, the cue was the sound of the notification. Like that, cue has to be simple. It is scientifically proven that people who make specific plans for when and where they will perform a new habit are more likely to stick to it. For example, instead of saying I'll meditate, just say to your brain that I'll meditate for 1 minute in my living room at 7 am. Instead of saying I'll exercise, you should say I'll exercise at the gym at 5 pm. By doing this, we don't need any inspiration to start. When a moment of action occurs, there is no need to make a decision. Just follow the predetermined plan. Like this, habit stacking can also be a great way to make the cue obvious. The formula is simple. After a current habit, I'll do a new habit. Let's say you want to start a habit of meditation. So you can say something like this: after washing my face in the morning, I'll meditate for 1 minute in my living room. You see what we did here? Washing our face in the morning is a general activity that we do every day. So associating it with a habit that we want to achieve will make the cue very obvious. Every time in the morning after washing the face, our brain will tell us, okay, it's time for meditation now. The key here is to tie your new habit to something that we're already doing every day. And also, the environment matters a lot when we try to create a new habit. Every habit is initiated by a cue, and we are more likely to notice cues that stand out. For example, if we are trying to make a habit of playing guitar and your guitar is somewhere in the corner of your study room, you are less likely to make a successful habit. So organize your environment in such a way that the cues are obvious. For example, you can place the instrument near your workstation so that it always stays in front of you and the cue is triggered regularly. This was the first step, and these were some of the techniques how to make the cue obvious. Now let's get into the next law, make it attractive. After making the cue obvious, the next step is making the craving attractive. What makes a thing attractive to the brain? the feel-good chemical dopamine. It does play a heavy role in habit formation actually. Author says you have to pair the new habit with something that you enjoy. Like if you love playing video games and you want to create a habit of playing guitar, you can pair these two. You can say something like this: if you finish 15 minutes of guitar practice, you can have one game session. The anticipation of reward, which is playing video game in this case, triggers a dopamine release, making it more likely that you will perform the habit. Also, linking an action you need to do with an action you want to do can work like wonder. For example, if you love watching a particular TV show and need to exercise, you might decide only to watch that show while in the treadmill. This way, the desire to watch the show becomes a motivator to exercise. And there is a well-known saying that you are the average of 5 people that you spend most time with. Author highlights that if we surround ourselves with people having habits that we want to adopt, it becomes more attractive to us. For instance, if you want to eat healthier, spending time with friends who actually value healthy eating can influence you positively. In the same way, if you want to be a reader, spending time with people who read daily will motivate you to do the same too. These were some of the practical ways to make the craving attractive. And now let's come down to the third law, and I feel this is the most important one too. Make it easy. Make what easy actually? The response. The response to your craving. For example, if you wanna run in the morning, then lay out your running clothes and shoes the night before. If you wanna play guitar in the evening, then uncover it and place it near your workstation. The goal is to make the friction as less as possible. Minimize the number of steps between you and your good habit. Master the art of showing up. That means rather than worrying for the perfect execution, just start. Like if you wanna create a habit of writing, start by writing a sentence each day. This might seem very small, but it's easier to accomplish and can lead to more consistent writing over time. If I give you my example, before reading this book, I was really struggling with continuing the gym. But then I tried this method of showing up. No matter what happens, I'll show up at the gym 5 times a week. Even if I don't do any exercise, I'll show up. Now I have been going to the gym regularly for 2 months. So what have changed here? The perception. Now I can't make any excuse that I have work or I don't have the energy or blah blah blah, because the goal is not to do a heavy workout session. The goal is to enter the door of the gym. I can go and come back in 15 minutes and the goal is complete, and it's way better than not going at all. So this is just an example from my life. You can have your own set of rules which helps you, but yeah, I hope this helps. And now last but not the least, fourth and final law, make it satisfying. Habits are more likely to stick if they are satisfying. Our brain is wired to seek immediate reward, not long-term benefits. So to make a habit stick, it's crucial to add immediate satisfaction. For instance, if your goal is to save money, you could transfer a small amount into a savings account each time you register an impulse buy. Watching your savings grow provides immediate satisfaction and reinforces the habit. Habit tracking can also be an effective way to give yourself satisfaction. For example, if you are trying to exercise regularly, marking on a calendar each day you work out can be immensely satisfying. This visual representation of a streak encourages you to keep going. Making the process likable also helps to create a habit successfully. For example, if you are creating a habit of reading, choosing books that you find genuinely interesting or enjoyable makes the habit of reading more satisfying. Let me know how you think in other ways we can make the habits interesting in the comments. So to sum it up, these are the 4 laws on how to create a good habit. Make the cue obvious, make the craving attractive, make the response easy, and make the result satisfying. Again, this is just a brief summary, not the replacement for reading the book at all. The book has a lot more to offer. If you want to purchase it, the Amazon link is in the description. You can check that out. And please consider sharing this with your friends who might need this. This is my first video, so it will really motivate me if you subscribe and give a like. Bye for now.